So, one of the things I've been contemplating a lot lately is how much suffering comes from the duality of connection. And so, ultimately, this goes down between the duality of love and not love, which is the one that causes all kinds of suffering. And so, there's some people who are more like intuitive or empathic. And so, they have this deep conscious and this deep need for feeling accepted and feeling loved and feeling okay. And this can be projected on a parent, a teacher, or a belief in God, or a belief in a higher self, or basically anyway. It doesn't have to be a specific thing that they are conscious of, but they are holding themselves to this. And so, what is a conscience but our own sense of feeling and sense of fear reaction going on between the standard we're trying to hold ourselves to? And we like to talk about the ego as being thinking of itself, needing to think of itself as the best or better than others, and having those sort of it in relation to others that way. But felt relationships between people, the need to walk into a room and feel seen or feel loved or feel appreciated is a connection, and that connection is duality. That need for connection is a duality because that connection does not exist. So we are neither connected nor disconnected, and we are completely, wholly love itself. And so within us all exists sort of that both kind of formations of ego, the need to see itself as better than others and the need to feel connected with others. And so some people will externally put more weight on one than the other. So one won't care if it sort of makes self deprecating jokes or takes somebody else's orders or has people in position, as long as they feel like they're really doing good work and they're really being a good person and they're really loved, especially by that person. So, this is how your narcissist empath relationships and codependency all sort of happens. And this is as impersonal, what one sort of seems to happen more than the other is as impersonal as like light falling on objects, and the objects absorb that light, and the light that they don't absorb is the color they're reflected to us. We're all the light of consciousness, and this is an incredibly like freeing, forgiving thing, both for yourself and everyone else. It has to be both for yourself and everyone else to be forgiveness, complete forgiveness. When you see this, that we're all sort of attracting and reacting in this creation. And we're all okay as we are. And so it's not that the wiring of your brain is unique and the way you present yourself and the way you think, if you feel more than think or think more than feel, is completely unique and it's completely perfect. It's just the misunderstanding is in where you suffer. And I do feel like a lot of um, spirituality talks about the hero's journey, and I feel like it's different for people who aren't so worried about kind of spatially, logically figuring out where they fall in regards to superiority or inferiority with people, but it's this need to really feel loved for them. And intense suffering can arise from both because the the person who needs to be superior is made so uncomfortable by the tension of the competition going on in their head that they feel the only way out is to be the best. The best is the one who is free of that tension of competition, which they believe to be inherent in life. And the person who absolutely needs to be feel loved by everybody, if they're loved by everybody, then they can get out of loving themselves. And when we fully love ourselves, fully, we already fully love ourselves so fully that ourselves really aren't. It's, there is no, love sort of is like a snake eating its own tail. It eats itself back up. And so this need for connection is a really good place to contemplate and try to see where in your life that's causing suffering. And I don't know why this has just come up for me recently. It's just been something I have become conscious of, that there's so many things that I do that are just completely out of this need for connection. And um sometimes I contemplated the color thing, how we appear to be the color that we're not accepting. And sometimes it's like I need to be a loving person. So really, like if you see me um in some situations, it comes off as completely unloving. And you see that the things that people really won't accept about themselves, we see, but they do not see. And so there's that mirror reflection, reaction, and attraction, because the whole law of attraction works as there's no real absence of something. And so when we feel the absence of that connection and we already are that connection, of course that feels horrible. And when we feel this sense of competition and the sense of lacking because of it, it feels horrible, because that competition is an illusion and exists completely purposefully and within time and within the story, and is already perfect itself and is how the world is run and how the world works. So this is a really good area to contemplate. And this video I just had to make short because I am kind of going inward and sort of introspecting, because a whole bunch of things I've become conscious of, and so I'm going to be changing how I do certain things and go about and doing, um, relating with people, and how I see myself. And it's funny how when you become conscious of something, there's still this old pattern to sort of fix that. But really just seeing it is enough. And so it's hard to just stop there and not come up with this new concept of this inferior and this place we need to be. And so that's an ongoing challenge in this work. So I'll talk to you guys again soon.